Um. All right, Cubs fam, you guys waited a week for the second half of the top 10 squads list for the month of December 2021. Here we are. We have got the offensive portion of the list today. Last week, we did all of the best defensive teams in the game, in our opinion. Today, we're going to talk a lot more about those offensive teams in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And we got to bring on the one and only legend who lost his Grand Arena to Cubs fan Hunt and Gridden, Gom. What's up, Gom?
Going well, man. Good. Thanks for having me.
I got to bring it up every time. You just have to accept this.
I have. I accepted it instantly. Cubs fan was trolling me hardcore in the videos we posted, so I accept it. I welcome it.
Oh man, you love to see it. No, it's nothing but good sportsmanship here. It was such a fun match with you guys, and I'm just gonna go throw it out there right now. That was more Gridden than me. I was just doing the clicks, right? So I thought no rebuttal. Just listen. Yeah, I got nothing. I thought you were gonna be like, no, Cubs, you were great.
Oh, Cubs, you were great. No, but you guys, a lot of people say that, but like clicking the buttons it's not that. It's just knowing, you know what I mean? Like you can't just wait on grids every command. Like you knew instinctively a lot what to do. Like it was a team effort.
It was at least 75-25 in his favor, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it was fun. I hope we get to do it again. We're going to talk about offensive squads today. Now, here's the defensive list we did last week. Now, kind of the logic behind this, Cubs fam. Obviously, we got Grand Arena is going to be so much more important now with crystals being in there. And so we really want to put out some solid guides for you guys to utilize on what are you going to place on defense? What are you going to use on offense? If you are just now getting into Grand Arena because of the crystals, I hope this can help you kind of prioritize those things. And we're doing this with no duplicates, right, Gum?
That's correct. Substitutions are welcome, but these we've used each character once, kind of give you guys like a starting point on where to set up your rosters for our new form of income, right? This is very important to get your teams right and stuff like that. So I feel like these lists will be pretty helpful for those of you that are kind of lost and don't know what to do. So
yeah, definitely. So we want to make sure that we're giving you guys as much as possible. And you know what? Some of these offensive teams that we're using might be used on defense. Some of the defensive teams might be used on offense. It's just kind of the way that we are prioritizing this for this month, and I'm sure it will be a moving target every month, so we're going to get back together for these videos. So without any further ado, let's get into the offensive portion of this list. So starting with the first two teams here, Gom, we have got Bam and Treya with Talon. Now, we have not seen Treya with Talon in Grand Arena yet. It does feel a little bit like Talon is a bit underwhelming, especially compared to some of the other new characters. But we are seeing Treya used on offense quite a lot to counter like Mon Mothma teams, Bugs teams. And if you've got Talon in there, I feel like that's only going to make that more reliable. And as such, I feel like she deserves a spot in the top 10 as a result, even if it's kind of at the end.
Yeah, I think as time goes on, we will see how important Darth Talon is to the game. She's, like you said, she's a little underwhelming compared to Kyle Katarn and to Mara Jade, but yeah. I think her kit's very good. It's a nice passive buff she gives. And this team is relatively slow. That's why we've included Sith Assassin. Make Sith Assassin. She's not like top priority for your speed, but if you can get her like 270, 280, you can, just kind of clock the rest of the team behind it. Just take out all the teams that you see on a regular basis, Padme, Crew, Bugs, potentially Mon Mothma with Kyle Katarn, so lots of good B teams this team can still take out. It's very important to get through those teams, right? So I still like Trey at 10.
And I like having Bam here. I normally think about Bam as a defensive character to use, but you were telling me before we recorded why you really like Bam on offense, and I buy it.
Well, it's because every single Grand Arena, no one really knows what to do with Newt, Dooku, and leftover Separatists, so they throw them on defense. They're a pesky team. They're not necessarily difficult, but they will, drain 4, 5, 6 banners from your team. Bam is a good option to max banner those Separatists and other various kind of pesky banner teams. Lots of protection, regeneration, lots of health, and just like Bam, with his missiles, if you hit Newt one good time, he doesn't revive. So no revive mechanics. It's a good way to take down B1 quickly. Each missile counts as a hit, right? So you can just melt B1 stacks. It's very, very effective versus the banner draining teams.
All right, next up, we have got Bounty Hunters with Zam Omicron. We're going to talk about that, and then Bad Batch as well. Bad Batch, pretty established, great offensive team, going to do really well against Grievuses and several other teams. But Bosk here with Zam. I am curious to see how this team does. This is one of those Omicrons that on paper looks really good. And I wonder, Gom, if we're going to see this raise up on the list after we've actually had a chance to run into some Zam Omicrons in Grand Arena. What are you thinking about that?
I think it absolutely will. Just a little hesitant to put it much higher now because we haven't seen it, and it is going to vary from comp to comp. It's a unique Omicron, which is we've put Bosk lead here. You can use any lead you want. You could use Django and make them super fast. But our new Omicron will give passive stats to the rest of the team, including speed, which is really, really important. So and Zam's got a pretty high base speed already. It's realistic to get Zam Wessel, especially for you guys that had the gear up for the GLs. It's realistic to have her at 300 speed. So that's that's going to be 60% speed, I think it is, to all the rest of the characters without even accounting for any of the other boosts. So it's going to be interesting to see. Very fast team. Could potentially be the fastest team, non-GL team that we have in the game. So looking forward to seeing what people do with that.
All I have to say to that is giggity, giggity, giggity Zam. All right, let's move on here. We're gonna talk about these. Well, actually, here, let's move the cameras. Actually, I'm gonna just erase the cameras for a second because we're gonna have an awkward top and bottom here. Emperor Palpatine with Mara Jade showing up at number 5 on the list. And then we got Troopers right now. We know what Troopers do, so we're just gonna kind of let that sit. But Gom, tell me how excited you are about what we're gonna be seeing from Mara Jade and Emperor Palpatine. I mean, oh my gosh.
Well, I'm pumped, and you guys have all seen her base speed now. I think it's 192, I think is what the base speed is. And we're all very familiar with EP and Vader, right? Like when you use EP and Vader together, Vader can lead with his Force Crush, utilize the Palpatine lead, right? Get all the turn meter anyway. Then he can go into his multi-chain move. And Mara's no different. Mara's going to have her second special at 192 base. It's going to lead out with 3 debuffs per character. You have a chance of hitting 15 debuffs. It's going to fuel her second turn to land the tenacity down. So Darth Vader's dots are all stick. Palpatine will stun you, and one of her debuffs is shock. So if Palpatine does his AoE stun against 5 characters with shock, that's 2 turns shock, or 2 turns stun for the entire team. It's the best version we have in the game of, I think, just completely turn meter stun locking the opposing team. Like it's realistic, I think, on paper, that the other team may not ever take a turn. Right. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what the final comp is for this. Like, what is the actual best team for this moving forward? There's so many new things for this Grand Arena. I'm really excited to see what the community does with these new characters. So.
It's a little sidetrack here. I'm glad you mentioned that. This Grand Arena is, I think, one of the most anticipated Grand Arenas I've ever had, maybe in the history of this game, because we've got how many new characters and how many new teams getting thrown into the mix. They've released 4 marquee characters, all of which have buffed some team in some way. We got Rebel Fighters showing up differently. We got Prepared Squads showing up differently. We got Palpatine showing up differently. And, of course, we've also got Traya showing up differently. And so how is that going to change things? And now we've got this whole new structure with the leagues changing, how that format works with the crystals. And so how many more people are now... I understand there's a lot of people who just don't care about Grand Arena. Maybe that won't change. But there's got to be a lot of people out there, too, who are just passive about Grand Arena. Now they're like, all right, now I'm going to focus on it, because this is where the crystals are. And so how much more attention are we going to see on this game mode going forward? So, man, next week could be fun. I'm excited.
I am too. And all these characters add depth, too. Like, let's say you get Darth Talon. You may be able to split up in one team that you've had into 2. So a lot of these characters provide a lot of depth. So I think if a lot of you guys are going to go from like placing 9 teams to 11 instantly with this new change, I think it will provide you guys with some extra depth. So I'm looking forward. I'm really stoked what everyone's going to be doing. I'm going to be watching all the streams, be watching Reddit, be watching all the stuff, trying to come up with the best way to, get my crystals. Got to get my crystals. So.
Yeah. I know some people don't like Grand Arena. I respect it, but look, here in the Cubs fam, we love Grand Arena, and I cannot wait. So, all right, next 2 on the list. There's our first GL. We did decide to carve out 3-3 GLs. I think ultimately all of the GLs work well on defense. The only one I would say maybe I would almost say borderline does not work very well on defense is Sith Eternal, just because I think that his offensive use is so high. And I mean, obviously we've only got him with 2 characters here, right? It's him and Watt, and that can take down Rey teams. So there's just so much offensive use there. Also, he's just one of the easiest GLs to beat on offense. But Maul here on offense works really well, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's pretty gangster. Again, not very good banners, but can take
Yeah.
it down the big teams, the gases, the DRs, your upper echelon type of non-GL teams can take it down. The team varies. You can make a really fast armor to kind of facilitate Maul because whoever goes first will provide Maul a turn because he starts with a frenzy, right? So
Right.
you can either run a really fast armor or you could run a really fast Maul if you have a high end offense set and really get the team going. I think Django and Ordo work great here. And if you have a fastball, you may not need armor. And Bo-Katan is kind of just a slot in. You can put anybody there. It doesn't even have to be a Mandalorian because if it's not a Mandalorian that you put on this team, there's no way anybody can hit them, right? Because they're going to have three characters revolving around like a revolving door of taunts. So your fifth character here will be protected. So it's this one is a nice flex play for those that were able to get Maul. So I'm looking forward to using this one a lot. I use it a lot in threes. Fives is going to be it's going to be interesting to see exactly how high I can get with it. So
Now, I've got one quick update here. I did just get notified by the chat. We made one boo-boo. We included Darth Vader on this list again, and he was used on the defensive list with Lord Vader. So, dang it. What we would probably suggest if you guys are going to carbon copy this list, I would suggest putting a different tank with Lord Vader in the place of Darth Vader and putting Darth Vader here with this Mara Jade team. Would you agree?
yeah, that's fine. Actually, if you guys have Krennic, he's not a bad spot for your Krennic that you were forced to level up because he provides another AoE stagger, just further helping the team just completely get just zap all the turn beaters. So Krennic's a good play. Any Empire really here is So I'm not sure.
And I
Two
also
tanks
made a
is good.
graphic boo-boo with the armor having a dark side band. You know what? This is why it's good to record these live. I can call out these mistakes that I make on my graphic, so you guys don't have to call me out in the comments, even though you will anyway. All right, let's get to the top part of the list. We got two teams to add here, both GLs. JML taking the number one spot with SOKR underneath it. Defend yourself, Gom.
Well, this is a purely if your JML is R9, he is the best. If he is not, he probably falls to 3, right?
Yeah.
So that is one disclaimer here. If you R9 JML, that bonus protection he gets, you can beat anything depending on team comp. The team comp we suggested here is a good one for Rey, is a good one for potentially Kenobi. Vader's a little tricky, right? But there are team comps that can beat all the GLs with an R9 JML. So this is one to consider, guys. If you guys, maybe you're saving up your R9s, you don't know exactly what to do, keep hoarding, right? Keep hoarding, but really consider doing JML as your first, second, or maybe third R9 if you have the Jedi to back them up.
And
really,
I
really
still,
good.
I can hear the comments already. I know there's going to be people who are like, oh, Relic 9 is not attainable. Okay, so you just heard how you would change this list for you if you don't have a Relic 9 JML. That's fine. For people who do, that is how valuable that extra relic is. Now, I get it, too. I don't have a Relic 9 yet. I haven't been able to get one. I'm not really super concerned about getting one. I don't want to wail on one. But if I were to drop a Relic 9 right now, Luke might be who I gave it to, just because of how much value is added there and how much offensive capability you get there. There's a lot of defensive implications as well. Now, I really like SOKR. We've got a full team here with him, but I think what I really like about SOKR as well is you can save a lot of good first order characters for other teams and still use a makeshift first order team with him and beat a lot, or you can save him for a solo, right? And that solo capability is so valuable, and so him paired with Sith Eternal, you can just get some really nice banner makeup game between the two of them, depending on the defense you're facing.
Man, he's flexible. He beats everything for the most part, non-GL, like you just mentioned. And this team here is the team I feel personally has the best chance against Rey.
Yeah.
You can't, there are variations where you throw in the Night Sisters to beat, other various things like potentially Lord Vader. I'm not sure if that's going to work moving forward. It's been a while since I played 5, so I don't want to mention that one, but or show that one rather. But
yeah,
it's very flexible. And he's not good on defense anymore. Everyone has figured out how to beat Kylo. There's only so much you can do with him defensively. I feel like he's just better suited for offense now.
Yeah, pretty much the only way that you're going to benefit from him on defense is if you catch somebody, falling behind, right? But if people who know how to beat Kylo, they've got the right team to beat Kylo, they're going to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The chat is blasting me for the R9 comment. Again, guys, JML, third place. without the R9.
Yeah, and look, I mean, we have to be able to. I'm going to defend it too, because we have to be able to evaluate things like that. Like if Relic 9 is not fair to evaluate because it's hard to get, then how are we supposed to evaluate this game at the top levels? You know, look, I'm not a proponent of Relic 9. I hate Relic 9. I don't have one myself, but I'm still going to evaluate that because it is a consideration that matters for a lot of people. So. All right, there's the list. Let's throw off our cameras here so you guys can grab your screenshots. I got that requested in the comments last time, so sorry I didn't do that last time for you guys. I will edit the armorer so she's showing as light side, not dark side. That is my fault. And I hope this helps you guys as we get ready for the next season of Grand Arena. I'm super excited. Gom, what out of all of these teams, which one are you most excited to see perform?
Zam.
Ooh, Zam.
Zam, that's where I've got my first Grand Arena Omicron slotted for, right? I haven't pulled the trigger, but that's what as of right now, that's what I'm planning to do with it. But I kind of want to see what Van Seal and you know, Sweens and all the bounty hunter guys do with it first. So looking forward to that.
I have to Omicron my Rose Tico first, though.
Yeah. Well, hey, Rose isn't bad. Rose made the list last week, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I don't have Ray, so it doesn't matter for me. Oh, man. We'll see. Maybe I'll take her up and see if she can make a JTR team okay.
She will. She'll be good on her JTR because there's so many exposes already from that leadership. I think
maybe it'll be good on offense.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this list. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop a like and check out Gom with Operation Metaverse down below. Some really great analysis of this game on a very high level that you guys want to check out. So we're going to get out of here. Thanks so much for joining me, Gum.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you, Cubs fam.
Don't forget, fam, this guy shot first.